Mic check, mic check. Are we on? Hello and a big welcome to the channel. I'm the Motorsport Madman and this is Friday Practice 1 ahead of the 2022 Hungarian Grand Prix. But before I get into that, I'm going to do a little bit of a 20-minute preview heading into the Hungarian Grand Prix weekend and you know what to look out for, the form of everyone. I'll do a rundown of the teams from the back of the grid to the front, and then we'll have a look at a few predictions, Madman predictions heading into this race. So yeah, we're at round 13 of the Formula 1 season, so we're into the second half of the season now, and you know, if you are a Formula 1 fan, if you are new to this channel, then get yourself subscribed, because I'm live for every single qualifying and every single race from the Formula 1 World Championship, and this is the schedule for this weekend then. So I'm on now. Preview, if you're watching this, we're going to do a little 20-minute preview and then go straight into practice 1. That'll start at 1 o'clock in about 25 minutes or so, and then I'll be back for practice 2. That'll be at 4 o'clock. I'll be live at 5 to 4 for practice 2, and then the real stuff starts tomorrow afternoon, qualifying at 3 p.m. Tomorrow afternoon. Be live at 10 minutes before it, and then the Hungarian Grand Prix on Sunday, 2 p.m. that starts. I'll be live 10 to 2 for that. So that's the schedule this weekend. Welcome in Chris Poundcoin, welcome to the stream, Tax and Leighton. Yeah, so let's go. These guys on Sky just warming up for the practice session as well. Looking like a sunny day in Hungary as well. I think I've seen it's like 33 degrees, a little bit of cloud, but beautiful day in Hungary. Right, I'm good, Leighton. How are you, bro? Oh wait, I've got some music on dead loud. Sorry about that. I didn't even realise I had some music on proper blaring then. Right, let's now start the preview. And what I'm going to do is just 10 minutes. Go through each team. Millwall away tomorrow. Yeah. Probably more relevant in Denver stream. Right. I'm going to go from the back of the grid to the front of the grid. So we've got 10 teams in Formula 1. Unfortunately, Williams are last. We'll go Williams through to Red Bull at the top, and just look at the results. So we've started to go on the right hand side of the page now, starting to make that second row of results. I can't believe we're this far into the season already. But yeah, look at the results from Williams. I mean, it's not great, is it? You know, they haven't been. I mean, Albon's got a couple of points in Miami, but since then he's been 18th, DNF 12th, 13th, DNF 12th, 13th. He's doing all right, Alex, but he just can't get in those points. The Williams, I mean, it needs a fluke result now, probably to score any more points at the end of the year. As I know from the career mode, if the F1 game is anything to go by, this car is a dog to drive. It's not an easy thing. You know, these are the kind of results I'm getting as well. Obviously, in my career mode series, I'm just trying to not finish last in this car. And Alex and Nicholas are trying to do exactly the same in real life. So, yeah, Latifi, I mean, look at his last few results here. 15th, 16th, 12th. I mean, 12th in Britain's his best result, isn't it, for Latifi? And back-to-back DNFs for Latifi as well, Austria and France. So, mate, they're not having a good year. But they are. I mean, they're not having a good year, but they're better than they've been for a couple of years. So, you know, is that a positive? There's still going to be P10 in Constructors this year, because Aston Martin are starting to gather it together. And obviously the massive news this weekend is that Sebastian Vettel, four-time world champion Sebastian Vettel, will retire at the end of the season. I did a video on it yesterday, so I'm not going to go too in-depth about it. You know, you can check my thoughts on it on a 50-minute ramble that I went on about his career. But yeah, they're just on it on Sky as well. 4-time world champion, 2010, 11, 12 and 13, back-to-back championships that he won, and an absolute legend and a great of the sport. I'll miss him a lot. Most fans will miss him. He's become like the F1 dad as well in recent years. He's become like a more mature figure, and he'll do a lot outside the sport. He doesn't, he even said in his statement, like, my identity is not solely a racing driver. It's many aspects, and unfortunately we're losing him from the sport, and I am gutted. But yeah, I did a 50-minute video on that yesterday if you want to hear my thoughts. But I was a bit down. It took me by surprise, to be honest. I thought Vettel would do another couple of years, so for me it's a little bit of a surprise and a shock. And yeah, but Aston Martin anyway, back to the form book. And Aston Martin sitting 9th in the Constructors' Championship on only 19 points. Actually, Lance Stroll, in fact, they nearly crashed, didn't they, on the final corner in France? They were 10th and 11th. And Stroll just beating Vettel across the line. It was a bit dodgy, actually, into the last corner. I think Vettel Stroll brake tested Vettel a little bit. It was nearly all tears, but they're just on the outer edge of the points. I mean, like, looking at Vettel's last 4 races, 12th, 9th. I mean, the 17th in Austria, he's nowhere. But like 12th, 9th, 11th, they just, if they get a perfect weekend together, they can scrape a point or two. That's kind of where Aston Martin is. Lance Stroll has nicked a P10 on 4 occasions: Imola, Miami, Canada and France. So he's just nicking the odd point here and there. They've got 19 points in total. They'll probably finish P9 in Constructors this season. It's not been fantastic for him. Step backwards, a massive step backwards from last year. On to 8th placed AlphaTauri then, who are also really struggling this year. When was the last time AlphaTauri scored points? Azerbaijan. Look at that. Pierre Gasly's amazing P5 in Azerbaijan is the last time these guys scored points. Canada, they were 14th and DNF. British Grand Prix, DNF and 14th. Austria, 15th, 16th. France, 12th, DNF. They're coming off the back of 5 or 6 races where they've not scored any points, and they sat there in 8th, 27 points. What are they in the championship? The 13th and 16th in the championship. It's not AlphaTauri's year, is it? It's not AlphaTauri's year. One of the biggest disappointments of the season, but for sure. AlphaTauri languishing down in 8th, unfortunately. P7 then in Constructors' Championship. Moving up the grid now to Haas. And they had a cracking couple of races, didn't they? Britain, Silverstone and Austria was mega for Haas. Look at those 2 races. Magnussen was 10th. In Silverstone. Mick Schumacher was 8th. Then they come off the back of that and Magnussen was 8th in Austria. Mick Schumacher P6. Game on, mate. Game on. I tell you now, right, Mick Schumacher's my boy, yeah. But he has been anonymous for 18 months, I'm not going to lie. Like, he has just been also ran in P19 for 18 months. And I'm absolutely buzzing that Mick Schumacher has arrived in Formula 1. It's taken him a while to settle in and get his bearings, and maybe he needed obviously the car is a lot better than it was the last year that he was here, and he's just arrived. A P8 and a P6 for Mick Schumacher in 2 out of the last 3 races. And obviously France wasn't as good for Haas. I can't even remember what happened to Kevin Magnussen, but he didn't finish the race. And Mick Schumacher was down in 15th. But can they bounce back in Hungary? I don't know if the car will suit the circuit. But we'll see. I hope they can. Look at my predictions. I've got a bit of positivity about Mick Schumacher this weekend's Hungarian Grand Prix. So that is Haas, 7th on 34 points. Just behind Alfa Romeo, who are dropping off. They're dropping off. Look at the last few races for Valtteri Bottas. DNF, 11th, 14th. Nothing like the start of the season. where he's finishing 6th, 8th, 5th, 7th, 6th. You know, those first half dozen races for Valtteri Bottas, I'm thinking Alfa Romeo are going to be 4th in constructors here. They're rapid. But yeah, the last 3 or 4 races, they've kind of gone off the boil a bit. I mean, look at the last few for Zhou Guanyu as well. Obviously, the DNF in Silverstone was, I mean, you know, that's a DNF. Jesus, he's lucky to walk away from that crash at Silverstone. But yeah, then arrives at Austria 14th, France 16th. Is he still getting his bearings back? You know, is he still getting himself together after that huge incident on the first lap of the British Grand Prix? But yeah, he's not had a bad season really, Zhou Guanyu. And I think there is rumour, and it'll probably be confirmed sooner rather than later, that he will remain with. I can't remember if it might have already been confirmed. If it's not, then it's on the cards that Zhou Guanyu will stay with Alfa Romeo for next year. I'm pretty certain of that. Obviously, Bottas will as well. But yeah, they've gone off the boil, and now they're down in 6th in constructors, and they're falling away because the battle for P4 in constructors is absolutely on fire. The battle for P4 in constructors might be where it's at this year, and knocked off their perch in France and down to 5th now in constructors is McLaren. 5th now, 89 points. Alpine are strong. Alpine are coming on strong, I tell you now. And the difference is Alpine have got 2 drivers that are finishing in the top 8 near enough every week now. McLaren have only got the 1 driver finishing in the top 8 week in, week out. And that's going to play itself out over a full season. You know, McLaren might get away with it every now and then when Norris bags like a P4 or a cheeky podium, or, you know, then they've sort of been getting away with it. But when Alpine are coming and finishing 6th and 7th, or 5th and 8th, or, you know, 5th and 6th, that's when McLaren are struggling, because unfortunately Daniel Ricciardo is not having a great time of it. Although having said that, he is picking it up a little bit. I mean, he's finished P9 in the last 2 races. Look, Austria 9th, France 9th, so I can't be slating him too hard. You know, maybe his results of finishing 16th and 15th hopefully past him now. But look at the season Lando Norris is having. I mean, he's got the absolute maximum out of that McLaren 9 times out of 10. You know, look at the last 3 races, 6th, 7th, 7th. Can he do more than that with this car? Probably not. You know, he sits 7th in the championship as well, Lando Norris. So he's the next man behind the top 3 teams. And but unfortunately, you know, it's a one-sided situation. Norris has got 70 points, 7th in the championship. Ricciardo's only got 19 points, sitting 12th in the Drivers' Championship. And like I said a few weeks ago, you know, big second half of the season for Daniel Ricciardo this. And couple of points finishes in Austria and France doesn't harm. But he'd be looking. I think he's won the Hungarian Grand Prix before for Red Bull. You know, he's been historically good round here. And can he beat Lando? I think that, you know, he's got to start matching Lando Norris. He's got to start beating him. So yeah, that's McLaren, who have now been overtaken by Alpine. 4th in constructors now, 93 points. And look at this, it's a two-man situation now. Ocon had the amazing start to the season, and now Alonso's catching him up. Ocon 56 points, Alonso 37. It's a 2-legged thing. I remember Christian Horner saying about Red Bull last year, or well, a couple of years ago, saying we're running one-legged. McLaren are unfortunately running one-legged. You know, you're going to struggle. And these guys are on it. Alonso in top form. Look at the last races from Spain onwards for Fernando Alonso. 9th, 7th, 9th, 5th, 10th, 6th. These guys are on it. I mean, look at Ocon as well. 6th. You know, he didn't finish it the British Grand Prix. I think he was wrapped up in that turn 1 chaos. You know, but 5th in Austria, 8th in France. These guys, I think they'll beat McLaren over the full season, simply to the form of Daniel Ricciardo, you know. And McLaren have got to think about that. McLaren have got to sit down and think, we might lose fourth in constructors, which is worth tens of millions. I don't know the figures, but constructors championship positions is where the money's at, and so the difference between fourth and fifth might be 20, might be $50 million worth of, might be 50 million euros worth of prize money. I don't know exactly how it works, but constructors is where it's at financially, so McLaren won't be happy with that, dropping down. But Alpine on the move, P4. Let's move up to Mercedes and P3, getting the absolute maximum out of every single weekend. Both drivers now, I've been saying about Russell, consistently getting the absolute maximum out of the car. Now Lewis Hamilton has joined with him as well, and they're just absolutely smashing it. They're getting the absolute maximum of what they can get. Look at Hamilton's last 4 races. Third, second. He's getting there. Lewis is getting there. Can he win this weekend? You've got to have a good car in Hungary. It might be a push, but I just hope they can close the gap a bit, because in France, the second and third was really like an overestimate. It flattered them. It flattered Mercedes. A second and third in France. It really did flatter them, and because they were about a second off the pace in qualifying. So to come out of that with a second and third, Mercedes are smashing it. And George Russell. I mean, apart from his DNF in the British Grand Prix, top 5 every week, top 5 every single race. He's 5th. He's funnily enough, right? George Russell's 5th in the championship, 143 points. He's only 1 point behind Carlos Sainz, in probably the fastest car on the grid. I would say the Ferrari is the fastest car. Whether it finishes the races is a separate story, but is the Ferrari the fastest car? I'd say probably just about is. Considering the amount of pole positions Charles Leclerc gets. They just struggle with, they've just had horrendous luck in terms of reliability and, drivers making mistakes. So you've got Carlos Sainz in the fastest car on the grid, 1 point ahead of George Russell in this Mercedes, just proving, Mercedes might be a second off the pace, but they've got the absolute maximum they can get out of this season so far. But yeah, third on 270 points. And second in Constructors' Championship is, of course, Ferrari on 314. So they're only about 50 points ahead of Mercedes in Constructors, which is mad considering the pace difference they've had. Leclerc still second in the championship, but way behind now. I think he's 63 points behind Max Verstappen in the Drivers' Championship. It's a long way to claw it back. I mean, if Verstappen has back-to-back DNFs, then it's game on. But for Leclerc to drag himself back into this championship battle, he's got to be winning like the next 4 or 5 races in a row. He's really got to be. He's got to be winning the next 4 or 5 races and hope that Verstappen has a couple of DNFs, and then it's game on into the last. Then it'd be game on into the last 3 or 4 races. But it's going to take a massive turn of fortune now. 63 points behind, 10 races to go. I mean, listen, we've seen championships. People come from further behind than this. I remember Fernando Alonso was like over 100 and something points behind midway through the season in like 2010, and he said, "I'm going to win the championship," and he very nearly did. He missed out by a couple of points at the end, but yeah. Oh, Chris, if you're in, just sling that, because I'm going to have to open the chat or whatever. But Chris, if you can sling that, if you're in, sling it, lad. I was having a laugh about Denver saying, "Oh, when they come in." I'm laughing now, but when they come in my chat, cheers. I was laughing in Denver's chat the other day, saying, "Oh, I'm laughing, but when they come in my chat, I'll be pissed off." Well, here they are. They've arrived. But yeah, right. Let's move on. That's Ferrari. They're rapid, but their engines are blowing up left, right and centre. How many DNFs have they had apiece? So Leclerc's had DNF in Spain, Azerbaijan and France. So Leclerc's 3 DNFs. I tell you what, if I'd have guessed, I would have said 4 or 5. So 3. I'm pleasantly surprised. How many DNFs has Sainz had? Sainz has DNF in Australia, Imola, Azerbaijan and Austria. So Sainz has 4 DNFs. Yeah, when it's something like that, Chris, you know what I mean. All guns are blazing. If you're here, sling it. If it happens when you're not here, I'll have to like log in. I can't get in the chat that easily. I have to like log in. Right. Anyway, that's Ferrari. But leading the way on 396 points, absolutely smashing out of the park, is Red Bull Racing. And Max Verstappen picked up, I think, was his 7th win of the season in France. Yeah, so he won Saudi Arabia, Imola, Miami, Spain, Azerbaijan, Canada, France. 7 wins in the first 12 races. It's championship form, innit? It's world championship winning form. I think he leads the championship now by 63 points. He's on 233, Leclerc's on 170. Perez just 7 points behind Leclerc now in the championship for P2. And sort of could do with a really strong race, Perez. He was second at the British Grand Prix, that's great. Then Austria DNF. Oh, he got spun off, didn't he, by I was trying to remember. He got spun off by Russell, didn't he, at that on the exit of turn 4, just like Hamilton got rid of Albon once. Oh mate, yeah, he got hit, didn't he? He got slung off on the exit of turn 4 in Austria. Then France P4, he got stuck behind Lewis, and then got done by Russell in the VSC restart. So he needs to get his authority down. And if Max is winning, Checo's got to back him up for P2. But yeah, that is the rundown. Just going to do jump into the predictions, and then we've got FP1 on the cards in about 7 minutes. Right, so that's the rundown of the grid. Right, my predictions for the Hungarian Grand Prix is as follows. Sebastian Vettel P10, just announcing his retirement, but I think he might get in the points. Like I said a few minutes ago, if Aston Martin get a perfect weekend together, they can scrape a point. That's what I've gone with. I'm going Daniel Ricciardo P9. He's been 9th in the last 2 races. Pretty safe bet. I reckon he'll get another couple of points. I've got Mick Schumacher P8. Come on, back in the points, Mick. I know France was a struggle, down in 15th, but 8th at Silverstone, 6th in Austria. Come on, back in the points for Mick Schumacher. I'm going P8 for Mick. Then I've got Norris P7, pretty standard. That's not that outlandish. I've gone Alonso 6th, Ocon 5th. So again, I've gone Alpine to beat McLaren this weekend. I just feel like Alpine is stronger. Then we start getting a bit wacky. Then we start getting a bit, where is everyone? How am I going to fit everyone into this top 4? Well, I'm not. I've gone Perez 4th. I'm going George Russell P3. Now, we're running out of spots, and there's still some big names that are yet to appear on this screen. So this is where I'm going. I'm going Carlos Sainz P2. I'm going all out. Listen, this is Madman predictions. I could call it sensible predictions. I could call it likely. I could call it, predictable predictions. But it's Madman predictions. So this is it. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm doing it. Lewis Hamilton. It won't happen. But if it does, you heard it here. 2013, the Mercedes was probably comparable to how competitive it is right now. Mercedes weren't a race-winning car in 2013. Hamilton won this race in 2013 against the odds. 2009, the McLaren that Hamilton was driving, horrible, won the Hungarian Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton has never driven a full season without winning a Grand Prix. Is Hungary where he wins in 2022? Probably not. But I'm sending it anyway. I'm sending it. But even more than that, I'm going Hamilton pole. Oh yeah, Hamilton pole. Why not? Listen, this is the storyline I'm going for. DNF, Verstappen, Leclerc, Stroll. This is what I'm saying. Verstappen and Leclerc collide in turn 1. This is my prediction. This is the story I made. All the nicey that Verstappen and Leclerc have been this season, and They're giving each other space. They're giving, I think, they collide in turn one, and that gives Lewis the win. And then I envision a race where Lewis is holding up Carlos Sainz for the whole race. Sainz is right behind Hamilton all the way through for the win. That's what I'm saying. DNF Latifi? Nah, Latifi will get P16, innit? Latifi's back-to-back DNF, so he's due to see that checkered flag, Chris. You got to think. 3 DNFs in a row is grim. So, yeah. Right, that's about it. Let me set up for getting FP1 on. Wait there. And then we can start the watch-along. We can start the watch-along of FP1. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the preview. Welcome in SHT. Welcome to the stream. Just my predictions on screen before we go. Another Madman prediction. Well, it is, you know, clues in the name. And yeah, we are going full Madman mode. But yeah, here we go for FP1 then. Wait, let me... Can you hear that? What's the audio saying when I put this on? Intro time, baby. I don't know if the audio works for this intro, but it's worth a try and I'll launch it in. Dun 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 dun. Right, let's go. FP1. Music sounds alright. Oh, get in then. Win. It's a big win. Look at how laggy this is now. I don't know why it goes laggy on this screen. But yeah. Welcome to FP1 in Hungary. Let me get the live timings up. Should be looking a little bit different actually this time. Yes, we've integrated it in better now. You know, we've got rid of the grey block. It looks more, it should look a little bit better now. Yes, Eagle, welcome in. Just in time for the start of FP1. Starting a couple of minutes. But yeah, I've changed up the live timings a bit. Let's see if it all works to plan. Hopefully it will do. Looks a beautiful day in Hungary, by the way. 33 degrees, a little bit of cloud around. But yeah, obviously all the attention is on the Aston Martin garage this weekend. Sebastian Vettel. Ted Kravitz talking about, I think, an upgrade package for Aston Martin. Go on, the lads. How long does it take to the game finish? Well, I'm going to assume that you mean how long is Friday practice 1? It's a 1 hour session. So it runs from 1 PM to 2 PM UK time. So it's just about to get underway any second now. Yeah. Alfa Romeo upgrade package given to Bottas this weekend. I did not know that, so thank you for the information. And they need it. They need it as well. You know, I was just saying in the preview then a few minutes ago, you know, Alfa Romeo dropped off. They haven't scored any points in the last few races, Alfa Romeo, so they need that upgrade package. That's great. 1 hour, yeah. There used to be 90 minutes, the practice sessions. You know, it used to be 1.5 hours, which is a bit of a long slog. But the first half hour of it always used to be a bit dead. So a couple of years ago, they decided, no, we don't need 90 minutes FP1, 90 minutes FP2. Let's just trim it down to 1 hour. So they used to get... What did they used to get then? So they used to have 4 hours of practice before qualifying, basically. Now, they get 3 hours of practice before quali. So, is that significant? maybe. I feel like this camera's so laggy. I apologise if it's a bit if I'm running on 1 frame a second. I do apologise. Probably got too many things. Probably got too many things on the go, and the laptop's just like, you're mad. Try to do all this, bro. I have to get a proper PC eventually that can handle streaming. Probably a good idea. Right, let me. I don't need that on though. I can sling that. That might help the situation. I've watched sometimes F1. Oh, I've watched always F1. I've seen every race for the last 17 years, Eagle. Well, obviously, I love it. But yeah, it's getting a lot of new fans, especially after the controversy of last season, the end of last season. I think a lot of people, a lot of new and Drive to Survive as well. That series that's gone on Netflix. I'm not really a fan of Drive to Survive, to be honest with you. I think it's a load of rubbish. But I appreciate the fact that it brings new eyes to the sport. You know, they dramatise it. You know, it's like trying to turn F1 into like WWE for me. It's like all fake and all out of context. But it's brought new eyes to the sport, and that's the aim of it. So, got to respect it. It used to be... It's weird because being a Formula 1 fan 10 years ago was like a really novel, like really nerdy, really like odd... It was like a little clan of nerds. It was really weird. And these days, over the last sort of like 3 years, it's become much more fashionable, which is good and bad. Because, like, I miss the day when it was, like, just a few nerds who was like, new front wing this weekend. Like, I miss those days when it was, like, really novel to be a Formula 1 fan, and it really separated you from everyone else, because it was like part of my personality growing up that I was a Formula 1 fan and nobody else was, and that was part of it. It was like, oh, it's my little thing, it's my little unique little, I love this, and I get up at 3 a.m. to watch practice in Japan, and I love it, and it was like a little novel thing. Now it's mainstream now, which is good, you know. I'm not complaining. Now it's a big time. The last 2 or 3 years, especially with the Hamilton Verstappen mega season that we got last year, it's become a different beast. It's no longer just a group of nerds watching cars go around. It has become a global... Well, it was always global, but it's become a little bit more... It's become cooler, definitely. It was nerdy. I loved it for that as well, but times change. Times not showing. No, they are. Look, we've even got the sectors as well now. Oh, we're stepping it up now. Now the times are on, Chris. Can you not see that? We've even got the sectors. So the green. So each circuit, if you don't know, is split up into 3 sectors. Yeah. It's on now. Do I have a channel for football? No. I'll leave that to the people. I'm not that bothered about football, to tell you the truth. I enjoy watching United play, but I'm not. With football, I'm not emotionally attached to it. So if United get thumped 6-0, I really ask. In fact, I like that, because then I think, oh, this is drama now. You know, I love drama. I think this is one of the reasons why I love Formula 1, is because I love chaos and drama. So the more dramatic the race, the more chaotic the race, the more I love it. And the more chaotic football is, the more I love it. So being a Manchester United fan, I'm not really. If they get thumped 7-0, I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, whoa, this is drama. So that's not a fan, is it? Because a real United fan would be, they'd be trashing the play. Nah, I'm not emotionally connected. So I couldn't do football watch-alongs, because really, I don't really care. But this I care about. This, I'll wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning to watch a practice session in China. Do you know what I mean? This is me. Football, take it or leave it. Take it or leave it. I'm not emotionally invested. So yeah. Kubica doing FP1 back to back. Is Kubica FP1? You know more than me. I didn't know that. Mind you, I've not been listening to the thing. I've been doing my own preview. You're right. It is Kubica again. What's that about? Why not put a young driver in there? Why Kubica? I don't get why they keep using Robert Kubica. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, in 2010, he was one of the best drivers in the world. You know, he had a shot at the championship in 2008. You know, don't get me wrong, but if I was Alfa Romeo, I wouldn't be putting Robert. If I was Alfa Romeo, I wouldn't be putting Robert Kubica in the car. I'd be looking to the future. You know, Kubica's got to be 34, surely 35. I'd be looking to the future. I don't know why he's getting so much. I mean, great for the Kubica fans that he's still knocking about and that. Still getting some track time, but I'd be looking to the future. Weird that they put him in again. I can't imagine Valtteri Bottas will be best pleased with this. Being replaced for FP1 back-to-back weekends. I like football because I'm a baller. Yeah, well, that's it. You're a baller, innit? I do enjoy it, you know. But I just don't have that raw emotion like I do for this, you know. And I've calmed down a lot as a Formula One fan. I've calmed down an awful lot because I used to be utterly obsessed with this. You know, I used to be a bit of a Hamilton fanboy when I was like in my teenage years, and I remember like Rosberg giving Hamilton a puncture deliberately in Spa once, and me just absolutely flipping out, and literally wrecked my voice for the next decade. No joke. My voice has literally come back in the last 2 years. I couldn't speak. That's how mad I used to get at this. That's how emotionally invested I was. I've had to calm down a lot, because I used to go insane. Like if someone had seen me watching Formula One in like 2014, they'd have shipped me off to the mental hospital and thrown away the key. I tell you now, for a fact. I've had to calm down a lot. Yes, always. Welcome to the stream. 10 minutes into FP1. I've not even talked about it yet. But it's just installation laps. There's not a hell of a lot going on. Alex Albon's up in P6, so get in. You know, go on, Alex. But it's early days. Science is quickest on a 1 minute 20.6. But yeah, we've even got the little sector things on now, right? So I went off on a tangent, but I was explaining this. Each circuit's split into three sectors. So if you see a little yellow, so obviously the three sectors go across the screen. So green is personal best. Well, yellow is not personal best. Green is personal best, and purple is fastest of anybody. So if you see any purple lights come up, they have gone fastest in that section. So you can see there Daniel Ricciardo going P2, did a personal best in all three sectors and slapped it P2. I don't know what white is. White is probably pending. I don't know. I don't really know what white means. Probably means wait for it. You know what I mean? Any second now. But yeah, here we are with Robert Kubica, FP1 again for Kubica in Hungary, which is a bit of a surprise. But yeah, Daniel Ricciardo, a 10th off the pace. Where are you, Tax? Get your betting slip ready, lad, because I know you like to lump on Ricciardo. No, in the last few races you've behaved yourself, haven't you? Because, yeah, Danny Rick podiums are hard to come by these days, so I won't be lumping any money on that, Tax. I honestly feel like Ferrari are going to be the ones to beat. Hopefully, right, for the sake of the championship, I hope. This sounds like such a Ferrari fan, and I'm not. I'm neutral. Well, apart from Mick Schumacher, I love Mick Schumacher, but everyone else, I'm neutral, right? But for the sake of the championship, I want Ferrari to be quickest from now to the end of the season. It's the only way we're going to get a close championship is if we just start getting Ferrari 1-2s now. From now to the end. It's the only way. We need... this season now needs Ferrari to be rapid and stop blowing up engines. And then we might... Because I tell you what, Verstappen wins the next 2 races, you may as well give him the crown, innit? You may as well give it to him. So that mistake from Leclerc at France, I think it's hard to come back now. I think it's hard to come back from that. Arsenal tomorrow to win the cup again. What cup? Is it not City Liverpool? Remember Perez crashing free practice here in 2015? Yeah, that was really weird. Was it in practice that? That was really weird. Didn't one of the wheels, like, I can't remember what happened. Maybe he hit the wall and one of the wheels, and then it buckled under the car and flipped the car around, didn't it? Because the wheels are like tethered on. So I think he hit the wall and then the wheel just folded in, went under the car and flipped him over, didn't it? I think that was before the Halo days as well. That was before the Halo days, so, you know, he's lucky to get away with that, Perez. You don't often see cars upside down. But he got away with it. But that was a spectacular one, yeah. Emirates Cup. Mate, I might as well be telling you about European Formula 4. I've never heard of that. I might as well be telling you about some young drivers coming through European Formula 4. Do you know what I mean? That's how significant that is to me. But yeah, I hope Ferrari are rapid. I mean, that sounds so anti-Red Bull, and I'm not. I just want a close championship. I don't mind who wins it. I just want it close. And Verstappen is starting to run away with it, unfortunately. But it is Leclerc from Verstappen from science at the top of the timing sheets at the minute. Leclerc flipping 2/100ths of a second quicker than Verstappen. So it's looking pretty close at the front. Hungary's a dry race, but man, it was a crazy one. Oh, 2015. God, if you remember the 2015 Hungarian Grand Prix, you're doing better than me. 2015 Hungarian Grand Prix. Remind me. If you tell me some of that happened in the race, then I might be able to log into it. But you're saying 2015 Hungarian Grand Prix. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know. There's been a lot of years since then. Podium, we have Vettel first. Second, Kvyat. Third, Ricciardo. Bloody hell. That's a good memory, that, you know. Sainz goes quickest on the 20.1. I mean, remember the Hungarian Grand Prix where Ricciardo stormed through? And it was like Ricciardo versus Alonso. And it was Ricciardo, Alonso and Hamilton fighting for the win. And Ricciardo beat them all. What year is that? I feel like that's 2014. Are you not thinking of 2014? 2014 was the one, wasn't it? Where it was wet and Ricciardo come through at the end and overtook Hamilton and Alonso, I'm sure. And yeah, so Ricciardo's had a, you know, he's got a good history here. Verstappen finished 4th at Toro Rosso. It's amazing to think that Verstappen's been in F1 this long, isn't it? 2015. He's, he's in his 8th season and he's 24 years old. I mean, these people make the debut at 24, 23. I mean, Hamilton was like 23 when he arrived. Verstappen's already got 8 seasons in the bag. It's mad. It's actually mad. I think with Verstappen joining at such a young age, he's like 17. I'm sure he was like 16 and taking part in practice sessions at the back end of 2014. When he doing like practice in Japan in 2014 at 16 years of age. And I think on the back of Verstappen's meteoric rise, the FIA had sort of brought in this whole super license points thing. Well, they made it more strict where where you had to virtually compete in F2 and stuff like that to get to F1. Because Verstappen went straight from F3 to F1 at 16 years of age. Crazy. I mean, that's a proper rise to fame, that is. Verstappen for it's also the weekend. Oh, right. Yeah, and they all put the crash helmets in a circle on the grid, didn't they? I remember that. Yeah. Right, here's this AWS. In fact, I couldn't stream yesterday for 3 hours because there was a problem with AWS, and that affects Streamlabs. First I've heard. But yeah, AWS giving Formula 1 data here. So Ferrari are fastest, what? So Amazon World Data Update, or whatever it's called, are saying Ferrari are fastest by, what? 4? What's that? 0.05. I don't even understand this, but it's Ferrari from Red Bull, then Mercedes, McLaren. No, I reckon Alpine are quicker than McLaren. I don't know about this. Then Haas, Alpha Tauri, Alfa Romeo, Aston Martin, Williams. Nah. I mean, they've got more data than I have. I'm just using my eyes, but I reckon Alpine are quicker than McLaren. Yeah, Ricciardo winning Hungary 2014. Yeah, that was a good Hungarian Grand Prix. Dramas, I remember Hungary 2015. Rosberg falls Hamilton off into the gravel chicane on lap 1. Wow, that's a photographic memory. I mean, I remember a lot of races in this sport over the last 17 years, but that one I didn't save it in my brain. That one's not saved. Nope. Brazil 2012, saved. In fact, a lot of Brazilian Grand Prix are logged. Hulkenberg lost his front wing straight into the wall at turn 1. What? I remember this stuff. I remember Hulkenberg's pole position lap. Brazil 2010. Oh, yeah. But I don't remember him hitting the wall in turn 1 here in 2015. Can't lie. Anyway, with 41 minutes to go in FP1. And it's Leclerc from 9 thousandths of a second ahead of Max Verstappen. Bodes well for the weekend. Daniel Ricciardo's still up there in P4. Interesting. And on the medium tyres as well. And McLaren bought a big upgrade package, or is this just... what's going on here? Danny Rick up there at the sharp end in P4. Then Perez 5th, who's obviously not set a fully representative time because he's 1.2 seconds off the pace. Ocon 6th. Both Mercedes are 7th and 8th. Can they get anywhere near the Ferrari and Red Bulls this weekend? Well, judging off the first 20 minutes of FP1, which never judge off the first 20 minutes of FP1, but if you were to judge it off that, you'd say they might need to improve a little bit. But they were on the hard tyres, and they probably just done a couple of installation laps, nothing more than that. Albon's still top 10. you've got most of the grid on hard tyres, but then the Ferraris and Red Bulls have already done a soft tyre run, which is interesting. Here comes Daniel Ricciardo. P5. As Perez now does set a representative lap time and is half second off the pace. And Sainz goes quickest then on a 1:19.6 by 0.2 of a second then. So it's now Ferrari 1-2, Red Bull 3-4. And Daniel Ricciardo, P5. With 39 minutes to go in FP1. Haas down there in 14th and 15th, but we've got about 12 cars in the pits and about 8 out on circuit at the moment. Here we are following Daniel Ricciardo around. I don't know if McLaren have got a update this weekend, but we're on board with him then. Round 2 and 3. And they just launch it into at the top of the hill there. Now into the chicane. Oh, it's nice and responsive, the McLaren. It's better than my Williams on F1 22 career mode, I tell you that. On board with Daniel Ricciardo through the middle section. And then where's he going to brake? He's personal best sector 1, but it's a yellow sector 2, which means not the fastest he's done. Oh, he's got pedal cam as well, Daniel Ricciardo, this weekend as well. Like Lando Norris has, and you can see, you can see him actually squeezing the throttle on the exit of the final corner and across the line of 120.9. Doesn't improve, I don't think, but remains P5. As Leclerc now goes quickest, so 1:19.4. So another 0.2 Leclerc's found. So you've got Leclerc 1:19.4, Sainz 1:19.6, and Verstappen a 1:19.8. So there's 0.2 between all top 4. Did get upgrades for France, was only for Danny Rick. I don't know if they'd favour him like that. Norris only did 4 laps. I don't think Norris hasn't even set a lap time yet. Norris isn't even on the screen because just the way it is on the website, you only see the top 19. So if you're in P20, you're not even on the list. And unfortunately, that is Lando Norris at the moment, who's not set a lap time. So don't know if he's got a problem, but he's only got 35 minutes to get some laps in. So it's 31 degrees. So in fact, I could change that. I'm 2 degrees hotter here on my screen. It's not 33. I'm telling big lies. It's 31. Does anyone care? Does it make a huge... Is it life-changing? I don't think so. 33, 31. It's a warm day in Hungary. That's all you need to know, innit? It's a warm day in Hungary. They've gone to adverts, but I can still watch the sectors coming in. I don't think anyone's improving at the moment. No one's on a mega lap, I don't think, at the minute. Stroll and Vettel down there, 18th and 19th. Not looking amazing for them straight out of the bat in FP1, is it? Kubica 16th. Haas 14th and 15th at the minute. The real one out of position is Daniel Ricciardo up there, P5. I don't know what. All of a sudden he's on it, you know. He needs to be. You know. If Verstappen does run away with the championship, you know, the attention might turn to Alpine versus McLaren before long. Which is a bit dead, isn't it? I hope the season doesn't become that. I really do. I hope it doesn't become that. But if Verstappen... Listen, if Verstappen wins on Sunday... And then, let's say, then it's summer break. But if they come back into summer break, you know, Max wins, you know, in Belgium, and then it's his home race. You know, then it's the Dutch Grand Prix not long after that. You know, he starts winning that. You got to be looking at game over then. 16 races in. It might be about it. I hope not. I'd love Ferrari to just come out and win the next 5 races, really. Just 1-2 it for the next 5 races. That's what we need. Ricardo doing his times on mediums as well. This is what doesn't make sense. So he's rapid. Ricardo could whack a set of soft tyres on now and go P1. Well, probably not, but that's the kind of the situation. I think white means they've cleared the sector. I don't know what white means. You never see that on TV. You don't ever see yellow, which is slow, or slower than they have been doing. Green, personal best, and purple, fastest of anybody. So white, does it mean they're in that sector right now, and it's waiting for that sector to finish, and then it'll turn a colour? I don't know. What did you say? White means they've cleared the sector. But then it'd turn a colour though. If they cleared the sector, then it'd either go yellow, green, or purple, wouldn't it? White might mean they're on that sector. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, it looks better anyway, doesn't it? The timing board. Because I've managed to delete the background from it. So instead of having this great big like grey block covering half the screen, it looks integrated. I'm well happy with how it looks. I feel like the stream looks a lot better this week. You know, because up to now, this is Perez. Oh no, Perez is sneezing yet. I've never heard a driver sneeze in the helmet before. Perez going down the straight, sneezing his head off. That's hilarious, that. That's hilarious, that. People are going to turn that into something. I guarantee you, there is people clipping that right now. This is what they've been saying. Anthony Davidson's saying the adrenaline usually stops you from sneezing and that. That's funny. Oi, Chris! Chris, if you're ever not, I need to do a couple more mods in it, because Chris, if you're ever not here and Ernesto's on holiday or something, I'll be bugged. I'll have to log in and stuff. The bots are in. Is that a good sign? That means I've made it. The bots are in. I'll take it as a positive. Yes, Carl, welcome in. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, drop a like for best adult dating. It's a compliment, that. You know, if a bot feels like it's worth coming into this chat. Because if I was a sex bot, I probably wouldn't come into this chat. I'd be like, nah, ain't worth it. Schumacher 6 on softs. Go on, Mick. Go on. I love it. He's 1.6 seconds off, but still. Here comes Norris. Norris goes P7 then. So McLaren 5th and 7th on the medium tyres. It's still Leclerc from Verstappen, from Sainz, from Perez. You was on it as fast as Latifi, you were, Chris. You know, fair play. I'm going to have to make a couple of other people mods in it just in case, because I don't want it all to rest on your shoulder. You're thinking, oh God, I've got to be in the chat, because if not, I can't have it all on your shoulders, innit? Spread the load out. Hamilton goes P4. Let's go. How far is he off the... Oh, that's decent. That's decent. The first representative lap time from Mercedes on the soft tyres. Here comes George Russell then. Go on then, George. Prove that... Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. That's a good sign. Well, I mean, I'm reading way too much into it. We're half an hour into the very first practice session of the weekend. But George Russell, 2/10 off the pace. They've had worse Fridays. They've had worse Fridays. We'll see a replay on board with George Russell into turn one. Then does he lock a front wheel? Bit of bottoming into turn one. But I reckon the porpoising is the thing of the past, by the way. Mercedes running with with those halo aerodynamic pieces like what Racing Point used to have in like 2019. I've not seen those aerodynamic fairings on the halos so much anymore. Teams don't tend to run those. But Mercedes come in with the halo aerodynamics. I don't know what the names are for the little, well, looking like a 2018, 2019 car. When do we be a mod? Oh, he's up for it. I'll do it after. Yeah, you can be a mod, Anto. You're here more often than not, innit? But the thing is, I have to log in and that. I can't. Yeah. I'll do it in a bit. I'll do it after the stream. I'll sort it out because I can go back and see the chat. So I'll sort it out for you. Albon P8. Joe, it was weird. Albon was rapid in France as well in practice. I think they're talking about the sound the flipping car makes when it's scraping along the floor on Sky. But yeah, Albon been pushed down to P10 now with both Alpha Tauris going 8th and 9th. Ricciardo still there in P7, Norris 12th. But George P2, less than 2/10 off the pace, is a good sign. We want 6 cars. If 6 cars can fight for the victory for the last 10 races of this season, it'd be brilliant. Whether Verstappen runs away with it or not, if we can have 3 teams in the fight, it'd be brilliant. Yep, AlphaTauri's 8th and 9th, Norris 7th on mediums. Yeah, McLaren 7th and 8th on the medium tyre. 8/10, 9/10 off the pace. But if they put the soft tyres on, you know, are they looking quicker than Alpine this weekend? I'd say signs are looking good for McLaren. You know, halfway through the first practice session, so can't draw too many conclusions. But it's looking good for McLaren. Albon 11th, Mick Schumacher down to 12th now. Ocon 13th, Latifi up in P14. Hold the front page. Here we go, on board with Mick Schumacher then. Turn 3 to 4, wow. Yeah, actually, Mick Schumacher had a decent race here last year. It was pretty much the only race last season that Mick Schumacher got some TV airtime, was a Hungarian Grand Prix. He was fighting, I don't think he was in the points, but he was fighting for position, you know. Well, the last couple of races, you know, the British Grand Prix, Mick Schumacher arrived, and then the P6 in Austria, he's on it. But Mercedes 2nd and 5th, not bad. Is Russell on another flying lap now? Let's have a look at the sector times. No, he's not. No, he's not on another push lap. So 25 minutes to go in Friday practice 1, and it's Leclerc from Russell, from Verstappen, Sainz, Hamilton, Perez 6th, 3/4 of a second off the pace. And the McLaren's on the medium 7th and 8th. Interesting. Best Friday for Russell. The Silver Arrow could be up there. Yeah, I hope they are. Hope they are. Not just this weekend, but for the rest of the season. Yeah, those halo fairings are definitely new on the Mercedes. I mean, it doesn't represent a massive update, that does it? But just a little detail. I do like the little details that change race to race. Um, I'm back. Minato, welcome back. In Amsterdam, oh, living the dream. Whoa, Hamilton goes wide and off the circuit. In the final sector, wow, just pushing it a bit too much there was Lewis. Look at how burnt the grass is. I saw a picture on Twitter actually yesterday showing Hungarian Grand Prix, like a photograph from the Hungarian Grand Prix last year and this year, and how green and lush, and you've got like the fields in the background and the hills, and it's all green and lush and everything, you know, and all the grass at the side of the circuit all perfectly kept like a golf course. And then the picture from this year, everything just burnt, like full heat wave mode, and everything just looks like the outback in Australia, like everything just burnt to hell. And you just think, wow, it's been a hot summer. It's been a hot couple of weeks in Europe, and everything's been killed. Look at all the grass is just dead. Here's Sebastian Vettel then, round the final corner in his final Hungarian Grand Prix. I'm gutted, me. Albon Hero 12. Oh yeah, mate. Nah, in FP1 last week in France, I'm sure Albon was like 8th. I was fully confused. I was like, have Williams bought a massive upgrade or what? How's Albon in the top 10 here in practice? And then, of course, when it got to the real running, when it got to qualifying, you know, everyone turned the engine up, put soft tyres on, and, you know, he ended up probably 17th or something, but he did look rapid in practice for some reason. Here's Yuki Tsunoda then down to turn 1, locking that. What, he locked up about 5 times there. For a second, I thought he was going into the wall. Yeah, big lock up for Yuki Tsunoda down in the braking zone into turn 1. Off the track, yeah, for a split second I was thinking, is he going to be in the wall? But gets away with it. Kept stabbing that brake and flipping, locked up about 4 times. That set of tyres will be in the bin now. Helmet camera on board with, I assume, Lando Norris? Oh no, it's a Williams. What am I talking about? It's Latifi. It's just because Lando Norris has had the helmet camera for the last like 4 races. I was like, yeah, helmet cam must be Norris. Not realizing that the graphic said Latifi, and it was obviously the Williams. But yeah. Well, yeah, a lot of understeer there. Second, turn 13, turn 14 as well. It just looks a struggle. I mean, I know from my career mode, this car is a struggle. Trust me. Anyone that watches me during the week trying to play F1 game, I drive this car, and I'm last every race, which is amazing content. Watch a man finish last every day, but that's how it is. We start from the bottom on the career mode, and it represents real life because that looks a bit of a handful. Replay with George Russell then. Is this a porpoising watch? You can hear the car scraping a little bit. Whoa, he lost the back end on braking. Yeah, big rear lock. I would hate that as a racing driver. Locking the rear wheels. I'd hate that. I'd much rather have brake bias towards the front and lock the fronts. Rocking. It's like a tongue twister. Locking the rear tyres must be a horrible feeling. But welcome to the stream, Dan. If you're still here, welcome in, lad. Bit of Friday practice at the Hungarian Grand Prix. Only 19 minutes to go now. They're going to sling it to adverts. But Carlos Sainz gone fastest of anybody in the middle sector looking at these. And goes quickest, Carlos Sainz. On a 1:19.2, another 2/10. They keep finding 2/10. But yeah, so it's Sainz quickest on a 1:19.2 from Leclerc. This is what we need. We need a quick Ferrari. I mean, more than a quick Ferrari, we need a reliable Ferrari. That'd be even better. But to stand a chance for this championship to be close, we need a quick Ferrari. And here, looking quick. A 1:19.2 for Sainz, 19.4 for Leclerc. Russell third on a 19.6, virtually same time as Verstappen, who splits a Mercedes. Both Mercedes in the top 5. And then you've got the McLarens. A McLaren quicker than Alpine here. You know, you've got Ricciardo on a 19.8. And the fastest Alpine is Alonso on a 20.3. Half a second off. Where's Ocon? Ocon a 21.5. Ocon's not really set a proper lap. I feel like McLaren are looking decent. Yeah, Ricciardo's 6th. Yeah, Sainz fastest sector picked that one up. Williams are so bad this season. Do you know what's mad about that statement, Anto? They've actually been better than they have been. Williams are actually improved from the last 2 seasons. I mean, Williams have been, you know, I think, was it like 2020 and 21? You know, there's times when Williams have been like 2-3 seconds off the pace. At least they've actually, you know, they scored 3 points this year, and maybe they'll get a couple more points before the end of the season if they have some fluky race where everything goes their way. And, you know, Williams are actually improved. How mad's that? And still P10. So it's a struggle. It's a struggle for him. It's a shame, really. It's a shame that Claire Williams has sold the team as well, so it's not really owned by... It's still called Williams, obviously, but it's not owned by the Williams family anymore, which is a bit sad, you know. But they had to do it. I suppose it was either that or what, or fold, you know. So you do the same. I'm not criticising the sale of the team. Like, you know, Claire Williams was probably in a position where it was like, listen, we sell it to this Gerilton Capital and start an upward trajectory, or try and cling on to it, maybe just about survive. But, you know, what's the future looking like? Will they ever be competitive again if they'd have kept onto it and clung onto it? Maybe not. Maybe it's, you know, obviously the best thing for the team to let it go. But it's still called Williams. It still is Williams. It just has lost that family element to it, I suppose. Captain Scarlett is on one. He is on one. But Verstappen goes quickest now. These guys are on adverts. We don't even know what's going on. But timing screens are still live. And Verstappen's gone quickest on an 18.8 then. Has he? Oh, yeah, he has. I was like, the timing screens didn't match up, but they're looking at laps completed. Albon's done 19 laps, which is the most, I think, of anybody. But yeah, Verstappen on an 18.8 goes quickest. Ooh. It's a good lap, that. 15 minutes to go in FP1 then. And it's Verstappen from Sainz and Leclerc. Here comes Leclerc then. Green in all 3 sectors and goes second. You can see that on the timing. It's weird because when the timing works properly, it's actually like 10 seconds ahead of television, so it's sort of like a bit of a spoiler. During the race, I actually don't look at that because it's ahead. It's ahead because those timings really are live. And obviously the TV broadcast, it just takes a few seconds to hit the satellites and all the rest of it. But yeah, it's Verstappen, Leclerc, Sainz, Russell, Hamilton, Ricciardo still up there, P6, Perez 7th. I mean, Perez got improved, 19.9. You know, Perez all of a sudden now is flipping 1.1 seconds behind his teammate. So I expect Checo to improve before the end of the session. Aston Martin down in the mud again. Yeah, 19th and 20th. I mean, it's not looking great. Oh, but they're just saying on Sky actually that Aston Martin are doing aero testing. So right, so Stroll's coming out of the pits on the soft tyres, so let's see if he can improve and get that Aston Martin higher up the leaderboard. Because at the moment, 19th and 20th, it's not the one. But yeah, they haven't set proper lap times. Look at it, it's like 4 or 5 seconds off the pace. That's way too much. Tomorrow is raining. First I've heard. Let me have a look. Oh, I've not got my phone on. It's supposed to be raining. I've not heard about this. That'll spice it up. If it is raining tomorrow. So we can't be sure it'd be quicker between Alpine and McLaren. No, we can't. On a wet day, all bets are off. If it's raining tomorrow, I've not heard about that, but I trust you. You've been right about everything else. But that really would put the cat amongst the pigeons. Then anybody can... Oh, maybe then. You know, then the performance deficits are not as extreme. And Lewis could get the pole position that I've predicted. Sainz quickest in the middle sector. It was at 18.7. Goes quickest. Well, battle is on. The battle is on between Ferrari and Red Bull. They're just edging in front, and then he improves 2 tenths, 2 tenths, 2 tenths, and they're just constantly moving the bar higher and higher. And it's now Sainz on an 18.7 over Leclerc on an 18. Sorry, over Verstappen 18.8. Leclerc 19 flat. Russell 19.6. Yeah, the Mercedes are now 8, 9 tenths off the pace all of a sudden with McLaren and with Ferrari and Red Bull improving. But we are in the we are behind the pedals in Daniel Ricciardo's McLaren. 79% chance of rain. Wow. 79% chance of rain for quali tomorrow. I did not know that. That's added a new dimension of enthusiasm for me for this weekend, to tell you that now. We could have rain equals chaos and chaos equals entertainment, and I love it. Maybe Alonso unleashed tomorrow. Oh, what's Santo saying? I know what you mean. Williams not getting the good luck, whatever up there. Yeah, they're actually improved. Williams, they're coming from a long way back. Yeah, maybe Alonso unleashed tomorrow. You never know. Stroll P1. Just seen that. It's not. No. Stroll P1. Very good in the rain. This is it, you know. Alonso good in the rain. He could bang it on pole. Lance Stroll, guys, yeah. Carl knows it. SHT, you know it. Lance Stroll in the rain. Front row. Italy. 2017. Lance Stroll in the rain. Pole position. Turkey 2020. Oh my God. Lance Stroll going wide, bouncing over the serrated curb, turn 11. No, but you never know. These are the, you get a bit of rain and Stroll might turn up and go, yes, let's go. No, he'd be lucky to get in the top 10, wouldn't he? It'd be a mega performance to get in the top 10. But Fernando Alonso, you know what happened in Canada? I was absolutely bouncing off the ceiling when he bagged pole. Did he get pole position? Or was it front row? It must have been pole because I went mad. I think it was... No, or was it front row? Was it front row? I think Alonso was second, wasn't he? Second. No, he didn't get pole, did he? Did Alonso get pole in Canada? Was it front row? I remember going absolutely bananas. Like, Fernando Alonso was like, get in. Yeah, P2. Yeah, P2 it was. Yeah, mega. So you never know. When you get mixed conditions. Vettel P11, you are right. Stroll 13th as well. So they've dragged themselves up from the bottom of the standings now, and gone 11th and 13th. Replay on board with Mick Schumacher then being held up. Ooh, a bit of miscommunication with I think Carlos Sainz. Replay with Lance Stroll then. Whoa, bouncing over that curb. Don't do that. Big floor strike. Massive. Yeah, look at this. Bang, bang. That's incredible. Yeah, what's going on with Mick Schumacher and I can never tell the Ferraris apart. I can from that angle. Was it Sainz? From that angle, it is nearly impossible to tell the Ferraris apart. I've got to get into the habit of looking at the roll hoop. Sainz is with the Day-Glow yellow roll hoop, and Leclerc will be with the black roll hoop. Because they run similar helmet designs as well, Sainz and Leclerc, which doesn't help. And the numbers are kind of hard to spot on the Ferrari as well. It's not obvious. So it's a bit of a difficult one. I remember it on the full commentary on the race in Austria. I got it really. It's like that. If you just seen like 1 second of that, Leclerc or Sainz, I don't know. And now I know it's Sainz. I see the 55 as it goes past, but I've got to look at that roll hoop and the also the yellow on the what do they even call those? The wheel brows, the wheel fairings. Yeah, they've put the yellow stripe on there for Sainz. I'm going to get used to it. Vettel P11, yeah. P2. Verstappen P2, yeah. Something to look into. Norris P4. I've missed that, you know. Lando Norris has gone P4. Only half a second off the pace. That's quick. McLaren, I think I'm starting to come to the conclusion that this circuit suits McLaren more than it does Alpine. Alpine would be worried here. Norris 4th, Ricciardo 8th. Yeah, this is suiting McLaren. This, I mean, in Imola, Norris got a podium. Well, you know, whether they get that high up, I don't know, but. Bit close there between Perez and Schumacher going in the last couple of corners. What are they doing? Getting in each other's way there, Perez and Schumacher. But yeah, only 5.5 minutes to go now in FP1. Stroll goes up to P12, so Aston Martin 11th and 12th. And Sainz and Verstappen separated by a 10th at the front. And Norris 4th. Yeah, replay on board with Sergio Perez then, and it's not great. It's not great from Mick Schumacher, that. After just complaining about being held up on team radio, and then that was a bit of a strange one. But yeah, 5 minutes to go. Cheers, Chris. Appreciate you, bro. Yeah, please do drop a like if you have enjoyed the stream, guys. We've got 5 minutes to go in FP1. Subscribe if you're a Formula 1 fan, because you'll never guess what. I'm live again for Friday Practice 2. Unbelievable, I know. No, but I'm live for every qualifying session and every race as well. That's when we get the real commentary boots on, and we go full Murray Walker mode when it comes to the race. You know, I ditch the chair. That's gone. You know, because every good commentator stands up. You do know that. And we go full Murray Walker sending it mode on the race. So get yourself subscribed for some shouting on a Sunday afternoon. And it's go, go, go. Yeah, that's me. So there is that about it. It does get better from here on in this weekend. Because I absolutely love it. I love it. I wouldn't miss it for the world. So I might as well come live and share the passion. That sounds a bit wrong. But you know what I mean. Jimmy Broadbent said it best. Share your passion. That's what I've decided to do. Oh my God, an Alonso off the circuit then. At turn 11. Wow. And that is high speed, that turn 11. You literally just sort of ease off the throttle and just throw it in. You don't brake. Oh yeah, it's just too much of an extreme angle. Alonso's always been like that with the turning. You know, even going back to his like Renault days in like 2005, he always just chucks it in and lets the front tyres scrub along the ground. That's just his driving style. But if the car's not fully planted and you just go give it full lock at 180 mile an hour, you know, that's what happens. You're going wide. You're losing the rear end. A bit of a dodgy one. Latifi still last. Yeah. If you can't see his name on the screen, he's last. That's how it is. Because for some reason, it only shows the top 19. So yeah, if you're 20th and Mr. Latifi's not on your screen, so he's last. Robert Kubica, number 88, comes out of the pits for the last 2 minutes. And I can't imagine that Valtteri Bottas will be best pleased about missing back-to-back FP1 sessions. But maybe it's in Kubica's contract that he's got to do like 3 FP1s in a year or something like that. I don't know. I do not know. Maybe they're testing a new upgrade package and they just thought, let's get Robert in to test the new upgrades. I don't know. It seems a bit of a mad one to me that they're still putting him in the car. Like, all respect in the world. Like I said at the beginning, you know, he's one of the best drivers in the world. You know, back in the day, 12 years ago. But I'd be looking to the future. If I'm gonna sacrifice Bottas for an FP1, I'd be putting an F2 driver in there. But yeah, 1 minute to go. It looks like it's going to be Sainz that's going to end up quickest on a 1:18.7 by 1/10 from Verstappen, who's 1/10 quicker than Leclerc. And Norris, P4. It's looking good for McLaren this weekend. Looking better than the last few weekends when Alpine have sort of had the better of them in the last couple of months, I'd say. But McLaren looking decent. But yeah, 20 seconds to go. Drop me a like if you've enjoyed it. And I'll be back, actually, at 5 to 4 UK time. So practice 2 starts at 4 o'clock. I'll just jump on at 5 to. There's no need for any kind of build up to FP2. I feel like that would be a bit overkill. But here we go, on board. Well, it's not over yet because Sergio Perez, oh no. Perez was quickest of anybody in Sector 1. He's not pulled it together in Sector 2, though. He may still improve, who knows. We're on board with Sergio Perez on turn 13, into the final corner now. Taking that inside line, then goes wide in the middle of the corner. Okay. And yeah, the last sector's not good. It doesn't improve in the end. Perez stays 6th. So, as the checkered flag comes out, at the end of FP1, it is Carlos Sainz who ends up quickest on a 1 minute 18.7. Just 1/10 of a second quicker than Red Bull's Max Verstappen. Leclerc 3rd, and Lando Norris, probably the headline of the session, is McLaren looking good in 4th and 8th. Only half a second off the pace for Lando Norris. Yeah, see you at 4, Anto. But yeah, that's about it for FP1 as the fans wave us goodbye. But, oh, let me sort that out. But yeah, guys, I hope you've enjoyed it. Obviously, you know, there's not a hell of a lot of, you know, it's not the most exciting thing in the world doing practice, but, you know, I enjoy it. I wouldn't miss it. And happy to chat Formula 1 with you all. And I'll be back in a couple of hours. So, yeah, join me 4 o'clock for FP2. And that's it from me. Peace out, guys. Peace out. Go Tiffy poll tomorrow. Get it on at the bookies. Hey, put a pound on that, William Hill. You'd be a millionaire. And then you can buy a yacht in Monaco. And you can buy me a yacht in Monaco as well. I go Latifi pole. I go Stroll 2nd. And I go Yuki Tsunoda 3rd. Yeah. And that'll get us all a yacht in Monaco. So peace out, guys. See you soon. See you in a couple of hours. This, by the way, on the TV, it looks like a full grid start, and his lights out and away we go in FP1. See you in a couple of hours.